allow the children to the budget. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. She off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, my ego don't come, my people make we shout, my ego don't come, my ego don't come, man of the masses, my ego don't come, this one not the off in mind. Can in the touchlight every corner. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you ladder. My ego don't come. My people make we shout. My ego don't come. My ego don't come, man of the masses. My ego don't come. Politico, this one not day off in mind. Person where they do even no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man do they talk. He do they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, my ego don't come, my people make you shout, my ego don't come, my ego don't come, man of the
Hello there.
Mayegun la wa mo to dodo. Mayegun la wa mo to dodo.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us this moment. It is Mayegun Live. Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are joining us from this moment. Please read the caption of the broadcast, the description of the broadcast, like it. Then share the broadcast to invite your friends and their not so friendly friends and tell them that Mayegun today. Thank you so much. Thiefnubu's government, they have announced a new tranche of $2.25 billion loan. Thank you. I apologize for the late start. And yeah, for not coming on this morning as well. So I'm kind of like stuck in between so much right now. But I'm glad to be back here this evening so we can put all of that together at once. Yesterday, the Minister of Finance, as well as the Minister for Economy, Nigeria Economy, Wale Edun, made an announcement. But before that, World Bank, on their own Twitter handle, they announced the approval of a new $2.2 billion loan. But this loan is not attached to any particular project. The loan is given to thiefnubu so as to help. This is what they had to say. I'll read that to you soon. To help boost the Nigeria economy. So far, so good. World Bank, IMF, African Development Bank, Afrexim Bank, the combination of all these banks or lenders, they have given over $7 billion loan to thiefnubu in the last 1 year. In the last 1 year, Nigeria debt has increased by official over 20 trillion naira. Unofficial, the current debt of Nigeria is now over 160 trillion naira debt. Yeah, you heard me right. That's over $100 billion debt. But like Bokuwari, they are printed over $50 billion. And up till this moment, people talk about the money, but nobody can point at what it was actually used for. No one. Same with the thiefnubu. Except for them bragging of sharing rice. Okay? Oh, we gave food to the poor. What exactly can you say they have used over 30 trillion naira debt for? And that's just the debt too. That's not part of the revenue earned and spent too. Or, yeah. So the World Bank, the last time the IMF gave them the condition as part of the planned $4.5 billion that will be given to thiefnubu this year. So part of their condition was to go and further value your naira, let it float. And that in itself is contributory to the economic ruin that is pervading Nigeria as we speak. At the point they told them they had to go and increase your taxes. Nigeria is not the only country. Kenya, Ghana, and a few other countries were given these conditions to go back to their countries if they want to access a certain amount of, for Nigeria, part of the loan packaged for thiefnubu in that 4.5 billion is $750 million, which is to be given to them as long as they can they can increase the telecommunication tax. And that is the tax they said they wanted to impose, and people kind of resisted. I don't know if they've started taking it already. It's so crazy that when you look at this, and then you see the same guys telling Nigerians that there is a future for them. But there is none. There is none. So they have already led you in a way that the hyperinflation, the unemployment, the economic downturn that you are experiencing, the high cost of living, is going to get worse. And they are going to tell you to, or they are going to keep telling you to take them or hold them, or hold their words, rather, hold their words in value. So here is the problem. The World Bank that is releasing 2.2 billion, according to Wale Edun, I'll read this out. He said, okay, I'll read it exactly as it appears. Okay, said the Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, announced today the approval of two major financial support packages by the World Bank. This is part of President Tinubu's ongoing effort to stabilize the economy and provide urgent support to the poor and vulnerable. $2.2 billion. The approved operations, this is what the money is meant for. The approved operations include $1.5 billion for the Nigeria reforms for economic stabilization to enable transformation, and it's called Reset. They will spend 1.5 billion on that. Okay, so that is Nigeria reforms for economic stabilization and to enable transformation. 1.5 billion there. Some of you who followed the looting of Kaduna done by El Rufaya, they borrowed $350 million, and they used the money they pay consultants on how to help the Kaduna state government improve their revenue generation. So they now have committees set up to help them find how. So they borrowed $350 million and they paid them to help the Kaduna state government on how to increase their revenue generation. Now for thiefnubu, they don't put together the big words, and it's formed something, Reset. Then they will now bamboozle you with, there will be investment in power generation, increase in power generation, the 1.5 billion borrowed money. Okay, so for Nigeria reforms, for economic stabilization to enable transformation. Then the second one is development policy financing program, DPF, and $750 million for the Nigeria Accelerating Resource Mobilization Reforms, HAMO. 750 million is going to be spent on putting together the idea, okay, policy. Yeah, they said it's called Nigeria Accelerating Resource Mobilization Reforms, ARMOR, Program for Results, P4. $750 million. You see all these things they coin together. Okay, let me continue first. So they said this combined total of 2.25 billion will offer essential financial and technical support as the government continues to address economic distortion. Additionally, it will assist Nigeria in its long-term goal of increasing non-oil revenues and securing oil revenues to ensure fiscal sustainability and the delivery of quality public services. Do you understand those big grammar? I'll help you. What they are practically saying is that the money they are borrowing or they just got from the World Bank will now be used by those Tinubu appointed as ministers, as this and that, to advise him on economy. So they now need 2.2 billion, okay, to put together a team that will then advise the government on policies to put together to improve non-oil revenue. Does that also sound similar to the Kaduna robbery? Or you are still not following? Like, you know, we do ask, what do they use the money they borrow? What do they use the money for, Abi? Now, this criminal boldly telling Nigerians that they want to borrow 2.2 billion so that they can improve on policy, financial coordinating policy that will then help thiefnubu to improve non-oil revenues. Guess what is non-oil revenue to these guys? Taxes. They brag about how much money they are able to take from, they're able to squeeze from people. No investor, no investments, no nothing, just borrowed money and taxes. So they will spend 2.2 billion, okay, to put together, formulate, coordinating financial policy for thiefnubu so that they can improve how much money they generate. Here is another part. They said, now the big words continues. Economic stabilization and growth. Upon assuming office, the federal government was confronted with significant economic challenges, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so initial critical steps have been taken to restore microeconomic stability, boost revenues, and create the conditions necessary to reignite growth and reduce poverty. Alaye, they said they have put together initial policies for microeconomic growth. Is Nigeria the microeconomic growing? Is it? Okay. He also said that to reignite growth, okay, then to reduce poverty. Be honest. Has poverty reduced or increased in Nigeria in the last 1 year? Be honest. No? Okay, you be the judge. This is the guy who are like telling themselves, you know, how great they are doing to justify these 2.2 billion that Nigeria will pay back. Unborn generations are going to be born into poverty, paying back debt. Just remember that. Now, they said these ongoing measures are part of a broader strategy to increase revenues. It's about increasing revenues. It's not about creating jobs. It's not about, investing in that same microeconomy, right? Where they improve electricity generation and distribution, where they improve security, okay? But they keep kind of saying this to themselves in their echo chamber, right? Okay? So they said this broader strategy is to increase revenue, create jobs, and foster sustainable economic growth. However, I continued. He said, Mr. Wale Edun has welcomed the support of the World Bank and emphasized the necessity for the reforms. According to Wale, we have undertaken bold and necessary reforms to restore macroeconomic stability and put Nigeria on a path to sustainable and inclusive economic growth. Jargons. These reforms will create quality jobs, really, and economic opportunities for all Nigerians. 62,000 naira job. That's something, right? So then they said World Bank endorsement. World Bank endorsed us. Said Osman Diagana, that's the president of World Bank, okay? The vice president of the World Bank, okay? He said Nigeria's comprehensive microfiscal reforms are placing the country on a new path that can stabilize the economy and lift people out of poverty. This is what the World Bank is like. The thiefnubu's policy is World Bank policy. World Bank policy is thiefnubu's policy. And World Bank policy is the policy that impoverish the people. They give them loan. They don't really care how they spend the loan. But the country will then be subjected to the perpetual repayment from generation to generation. And that is why, right? Today, the debt of Nigeria, if it is to be paid off straight up now, every one of us carrying that green passport, some of you will have to probably bin it now, right? So every one of you carrying that green passport, or those of you who don't get passport at all, identified as Nigerian, you are practically like a commodity in the hand of the lenders. Because if they divide the debt of Nigeria now, that all of us should pay, including our children, individually, it is now over 800,000 naira per person. 157 trillion naira debt, local and foreign. Do you understand that now? So, and this is going to be paid for up until 2000, sorry, year 2000. No, sorry, that's I wanted to say year 2100. That's wrong. Year 2100. You know, we are now in year 2024. Dear future Nigerians, if Nigeria is still existing, okay, we are doing our best to make sure that you will not meet these debts. And we hope that we achieve this before we die. If you see this video in 100 years' time, when I am long gone, please, for the sake of those who can't make all these videos, right? I'm speaking for them. We are doing our best. This is year 2024. Yeah, let's say it to the future. Because you see, many of the unborn generation right now, they're going to burn them into poverty as long as Nigeria exists. Debt repayment for 100 years. How many of these criminals collecting the loan will be alive in 100 years? How many? They say they are stealing money so that their unborn generation will never suffer. Dear future generation, if you see this video and Nigeria is still existing, that means we failed. But that doesn't mean that we didn't try. We are doing our best to make sure that you will not be born into this contraption called Nigeria. We will do our best and we'll keep pushing. That by the time you are born, not only that you won't meet these debts, you won't be part of this contraption or country called Nigeria anymore. But if by any means, 100 years time, some of you come across this video as Nigerians, just remember that in year 2024, like many years preceding it, there was a Mayegun, this face, that was pushing and trying to warn the Nigerians who are existing now that the criminals in charge of this contraption, they are mortgaging our future. Many of us were born into the poverty, the indebtedness. Many of us are going to die in that poverty without actually experiencing life. And then the unborn generation who didn't beg us to born them. So many of you right now, they call and love. You are producing, you are procreating. These children, you are burning them. They are Nigerians. You see all this stigma, all this wahala, they are going to inherit them. We inherit Nigeria from our own parents, didn't we? Our children would have to. And you see all this debt, all this poverty, all this terrorism, all this horrible, bad leadership. If we don't end them by ending Nigeria, our children will be born into debt repayment. And these guys, their bones will be like, would have turned to powder by then. They will not be here. And I think that's more reason why they don't care. And you, who is a young person, who doesn't have understanding what this simply means, the reason why you are facing hardship in Nigeria is because of decisions like this. See, listen, there's nothing bad in taking loans, but use the loan. Use the loan, at least for the people you took the loan in their names. You understand? But they are not doing that. They want to own the world. They want to control everything. They want to own everything. while generations after generation are being being subjected to this generational, poverty. I will say I said mine. In Kenya, there is a drama that took place. Currently, I think I said something about Kenya the last time, which was about their president, Ruto, and his economic policies, including taxes, after collecting World Bank and IMF loan as well. So if you are watching me from Kenya, you probably will think nobody is facing what you are facing economically. But I think I said that yesterday, that whatever the Kenyans are facing or still going to face, it's going to be the phase one of what Nigerians have been subjected to in the last 9 years of APC, Ebekebe, government of lies, manipulation, propaganda, and at the same time, the government that doesn't want you to express yourself against all of these vices. So in Kenya, they themselves have started putting together bills, laws that will further, squeeze businesses, citizens of more money, more taxes. But the people are not really seeing the impact or the effects of all this World Bank money in their country. And that is why so many people are kind of like becoming resistant. So one of them is a Kenyan human rights, a Kenyan activist. And you see, there's something that makes this look pretty much like what an activist should do. Those who are singing soli, 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 they should do more than just singing soli, soli, soli. Because if you are an activist, right, there are some level of actions that should be added to your activism. Something that makes the oppressor sort of afraid of you. And it is okay if they are afraid of you. It is not okay. You see, they say this all the time. When the leaders, when they are afraid of the people, that is democracy. But when the people are afraid of their leaders, that is tyranny. That is not democracy. I know that that's not what Nigeria is practicing, so to say, right? That's not what is happening in Africa. But you see this guy, his name is Julius Kamau. Julius Kamau couldn't take it anymore. During the time they were presenting their budgeting and all of that stuff, discussing because they write budgets based on what they expect to take from the people, the revenue, taxes and all that. So these guys were like discussing that in the government building, right? Then, from nowhere, Kamau just showed up. Decided to grab that briefcase where the destiny of Kenyans is about to be mortgaged. And this is his own way of activism, to say, instead of just complaining, right? I'll show you. Yeah. After arresting the guy, he tried to, they took him to court. Inside the courtroom, as a typical activist, speaking the truth to them and say, listen, we know all of you are scared, afraid. I can smell the fear in this room. If you want to send me to 100 years, I'm ready. But I will let you, you must all remember that Kenya is being led by mad people. Same as all other African countries. Africa is being led by mad people. Listen to Julius Kamau.
To be ruled like this, being ruled by sick people, by mad people, by liars and thieves and criminals. These are the people who are in power in Kenya, in Africa. That is the situation we are living in. That is kind of life we are living in. That's why people are dying and nobody cares. Poor people are suffering, nobody cares. So I don't know what's the role of the government. I don't know. I want to know today what's the role of the government, to protect the people or to kill the people or to make the people suffer. I think we have failed our people. The government has failed. Everybody has failed. We have also failed ourselves. I don't know. My concerns will not allow me to keep silent. And at any time, at any moment, I don't know whether this is going to come up anywhere, but we must have this debate. We must have this conversation. We cannot continue living in fear. I see a lot of fear in this country. A lot of fear in the courts. Just yesterday, we saw a magistrate who was shot by a police officer. I want to speak, my dear friend. I want to speak because when you try to tell me to keep silent, my heart is burning. You know, it's burning because of this country. Because for 60 years, we have been living like we are not human beings, like we are half human beings. We are considered like children of a lesser God. Now, this cannot continue. It cannot continue in any way. We are ruled by a minority that does not care for the interests of the majority. Politicians are lies and thieves, and they have stolen our freedom, they have stolen our minds, they have stolen our land, they have stolen our future. Politicians are established in lies and failed promises. We are victims of lies and failed promises, deferred hopes and blasted dreams for 60 years. I don't know what will happen. I don't know whether you're going to sentence me. I'm ready to be sentenced for 100 years. But I'm going to keep speaking the truth until the day I leave this world. We cannot continue living like this. My dear friends, we must resist. Resistance is the only way for this country, for Africa. People are dying everywhere. Even in Congo, people are suffering.
You know, there's always that. You know, people that just can't take it anymore. And there are many people who are like that guy in Nigeria. They just still haven't found the motivation. You see, that motivation where you could just walk straight to this guy's gathering and just disrupt the whole place, or even do something worse. Okay? It's just that, I don't know, the oppressed, for example, in Nigeria, the oppressed, if they have access to any superior power, I'm talking about, let's say they have access to guns, instead of them to turn the gun on the criminals who have taken everything from them, they will just look for another vulnerable person to rob. And that is why if you see all these criminals who are harming poor people, they don't deserve any mercy. Second chance or no chance at all. They don't deserve anything. Like, how could you, who is a victim of a failed country, right? But rather than for you to actually take it up on the people who are living flamboyantly, opulently, you are seeing them. Some of you are ready to prostrate for them, beg them for money. But when you have a chance, same thing with the cultists, students who are cultists in Nigeria. You know, that's like you having, to them, it's like having a bit of an advantage over their peers. That's a useless, I mean, that's a waste of influence, if you ask me. If I was a cultist, you know, I would probably have put together other cultists and give ourselves a name, you know? And by now, before any of us is caught or anything happen, we'll probably have entered more than 200, 300, or even 500 politicians. Sort of created paradigm shift. You know what I mean now? Use that influence of power like that. Yeah? Use it on them. Disarm their security and all of that. Expose how vulnerable they can be if the people come for them. I would have been part of that kind of cultism. Not the kind of cultist that is turning gun on their juniors or their seniors because of girls. The ones that are using cultism to that's a waste of power. You grab yourselves, you are cutting yourselves head off because you want to show supremacy. How did you end up that way? Your fellow students who graduated are jobless. Many of them are also turning into things that some of you probably don't wish for yourself, but you are in school now. You they smoke, you they high, you they do all of these things just to show how influential you are. But you can't turn that on these guys. Instead of turning it on them, you are making yourselves available to be used by them. Same people that pushed some of you to this level. Academic frustration, economic frustration, so many frustration at the early stage of your lives. Some of you believe that you could hide behind courtism from all of this, but yet the people responsible for all of this, you are too kind of coward, kind of, to go over to them and use their power on them, show them what they have created, the monster they have created, not turn on the vulnerable people, weaker people, because they are so easy to, unfortunately. So activism and how people sort of, need to push back. And when they do push back, it should be very much as significant like that. Unfortunately, the people he believe he's speaking for in Kenya, half of them don't approve his action. Unexpectedly, that is why they say it is a foolish thing to say you want to fight for the oppressed or the poor in Africa. I don't know, maybe anywhere else, but in Africa, you can't. Because some of them actually love their oppressors. They want to be like them someday. They will tell you what they will do if they had the power their oppressors have. Yeah, they will say that if Namibi Tinubu, I will just order that they should bomb everybody there. That's a poor man, under poor leadership. But he's hoping one day that if he was the one who has the power, he would do things that some of you will be like, now so that they use the power because they want to be like that. So if you therefore challenge the status quo, you are challenging these millions of voluntary slaves. How do you do that? You can't win. But some people who are doing it too, they are advised that when you think you are fighting for the poor Africans or poor Nigerians, you must not use your two hands fighting the oppressors. One hand fighting the oppressor and the other hand protecting yourselves from the oppressed. Because the oppressed are going to ask you, now who send you? Waiting concern you. Mind your business. You are a troublemaker. Why do you want to put this country in trouble? Why do you want this country to go to riot? You these people, instead of you to let us pray for our leaders. So if you therefore become an outlier, I want to fight for you. Who send you? They will be calling on the government to kill you. Jail him. Don't ever free him. And at the same time, they are very quiet when terrorists are being freed, not only by the government-arranged backdoor program that frees terrorists in Nigeria and jail activists. And you have different kinds of terrorists, by the way. There are terrorists who carry guns, want to kill you or kidnap you for ransom. There are terrorists, right, who steal from you, denying you health care, denying you education, denying you safe communities, security, denying you jobs, denying you good life, denying you your fundamental human rights. And they wear babariga, they wear suits, they use pen to kill millions of people by denying them what is normally theirs. Do you understand? Those ones are also terrorists. Your politicians are terrorists. And that is why they are the first to call activists terrorists. They will charge you for terrorism. They will charge you for what is stronger so that they can lock you away and put you away. Why they perpetuate every day an act of terrorism against their people. And when they rise up to resist them, then they mobilize their military to shoot and kill them as well. That is an act of a state. That's an act of a state terrorism. By all means. And because governments all over the world love to be the monopoly, to be the one with the monopoly of the violence. So it is legal to violently kill the people you are oppressing whenever they want to resist the oppression. It is legal. It is called for the sake of national security. But it's just not, I don't know how it is legal to pardon terrorists who confess of killing people. Fulani terrorists have a special privilege in Nigeria, no doubt. But when a state governor comes out to tell you about that privilege and how shocked he is, then maybe you should probably start thinking the type of mess that Nigeria is in. A lot of people knows this. I'm talking to those of you who are still neither here nor there. Okay, here is this guy, this Zamfara state governor. Okay, I think his name is Dauda Lawal. Let me see his picture. Yeah, that's his picture. Now you see this guy is the guy that replaced Patawale. You see Patawale, as a governor of Zamfara, was a known sponsor of terrorism. Ask me, how did I know? Evidence is out there. You see, when they were talking, talking about rehabilitated terrorists, and rehabilitated terrorists were being paid, this was heavily documented in Zamfara. Before Patawale, there was Yari. And you see this Yari as governor. Some even believe he is the richest northern governor. So, I have told you this before as well. You see this terrorism you are seeing in Nigeria. It is not about Islam. It is not about any religion. But religion is the cover. It is 100% about mineral resources. In all of the hotspot areas where people have been killed, displaced, go back to those areas. They are fully, heavily occupied by the terrorists and other miners mining different minerals from these places. You see that Yari? Normally, they are accusing him of stealing over 100 billion naira as Zamfara state governor. And he was actually paying 7,000 naira minimum wage, which he didn't pay. Same thing happened when Patawale became their governor. But you see this Yari, a multi-billionaire, and it is not Zamfara money. It is through the sponsorship of terrorism in Zamfara, and he was the governor. He has his own private jet, by the way. And for your information, they also have their private airstrip in Zamfara. That's, you see, they say the transponder, you know that the transponder will tell you how flights are going in and out and what destination to and fro and all of that. This that I'm telling you now is not just Zamfara. It is also in Kogi. Your Kogi white lion did not make his own billion from stealing Kogi money alone. It's still this 80 billion the EFCC is looking for. No. Yeye Bello is fully, and Yeye Bello's lieutenants, they are fully, solidly behind the increased terrorism in Kogi State, as well as the endless illegal mining and stealing of so many mineral resources in that place as we speak. And there are many people who actually know this. Yes, there are Kogi people who know this. In Zamfara, there are Zamfarans who know this very well. True. But you see, the people that are supposed to provide security for the people, they are those who are actually funding terrorism, and it is from this highest office of the land. When Patawale became the governor, That was when the incursion of the Fulani jihadists, Fulani terrorists, happened to Zamfara. They were slaughtering farmers. Not with cows, they were killing farmers. They were chasing people out of communities. And then you went back there 3 months later. The entire place is a mining site. To cover it up, the guy, there was actually a document where Wale said Zamfara spent 1.1 billion naira on repentant terrorists. People of Zamfara, they will see repentant terrorists driving 4x4 trucks in some of the areas and communities they've once attacked. And some of them will see those who killed their parents, killed their wives, killed their husbands, killed this and that. Yeah? All of this were happening. And Wale actually hired so many PR guys, online and offline. Then this guy boldly came out and said Zamfara is now gold producing state. And this were the gold mined after the killing of women, children, villagers, elderly, vulnerable people. Chased them out of their communities, took over their communities. While the government was giving food to the survivors in refugee camps, their lands, their farms, completely destroyed, ruined, and the illegal mining going on there. And their own state governor came on here and displayed bars of gold to show that Zamfara is now a gold. Now, you see this now. Wale is now the Minister of Defense in Nigeria. Coincidence? It shouldn't be. He is now the Minister of Defense. So the governor that defeated him, and want to use something during the time that Zamfara was under this attack, Wale barely even lived in Zamfara. If he is not living in Abuja, he is there in America. I'm talking about a state governor that spent over 6 months in America. Because his wife put to bed, one of his wives, I think he has 4 wives. One of them put to bed in America, and Wale had to go and do Omugo while Zamfara was burning, because he was responsible for it. He was responsible. He was one of those responsible for it. Rather than him being probed, arrested, and tried for his crime, he is rewarded with a ministerial appointment. Now, his own successor, Lawal, has cried out that they made effort in combating this menace and Zamfara is gone. However, they are trying to do their best. They figured out, they arrested some of these terrorists, and one of their leaders was put on trial. He was to be tried and jailed. Then order from Abuja, order from above just came and said he should be released. And the court, this is somebody who confessed though. See, I need people who can speak Hausa very well. You will need to help me in the comment section, okay? Then I'll come back with something better to give you the summary. Somebody who speaks Hausa, or everybody who speaks Hausa, I want you to help me subtitle this, or kind of like in the comment here, what this guy is saying. I'll come back and say more. Here.
Wani mun kama shi a goshe san $100. Akwai mata, akwai maza, akwai yara. An yi tajin mutane kuma da yawan su sun ansa laifinsu a lokacin da ake masu mutane. Ni a matsayina na gwamna ina iya samun
information wannan important wanda wallahi na gani ba wai an gani ɗaya daga cikinsu ya tabbatar da ya ansa cewa ya kashe mutane yana da daba amma da shi ne shugaban wannan daba a lokacin shi yana da bindigogi guda uku suna can akwai ɗaya mataimakin shi yana da bindigogi guda uku muna ta bin su muna bibiyar su da abin da muke kenan kullum yanzu ya je ya biya ma mahaifiyar shi dan hajji bauchi inda wani ya taimaka mutum muka bi shi muka kamo shi ɗaya a nan cikin mahaifiyata zai tafiya shi ma muka kamo shi kuma ya amsa cewa lallai laifukan nan ya yi kuma shi ne shugaban wannan ba wai ma son mu mai hukunci kan ba sai muka bi ka'idar da constitutions aka yi shi dan yari aka ajiye shi me zai faru an kawo shi kotu jiya da dare na ke gama cewa an ba shi biyu kuma mutane su yana nan yanzu haka an riga an sake shi an fara shi ɗaya yana yau akwai sauran suna da su ma za a kawo su kuma tun kafin lokacin muna da labarin tun da yake bisa ana magana da shi daga Abuja ba kan cewa za a kawo shi kotu kuma sun tabbatar masu cewa in an kawo su kotu za a tsaye shi kuma abin ya faru Allah ya sama ruwa jazon Ubangiji Allah duk wanda yake da hannu Ubangiji Allah ya ku tuna abin da zai iya faruwa a kan zai iya faruwa da ɗan zai iya faruwa da masoyin wanda kuke kai da kuke son yi kamar da gaya wallahi ba zan taɓa shiga cikin harkoki amma ku tuna Allah ya kalla in kun yi Allah zai ku shiga in ba ku yi ba Allah zai dawo ban tsammani yadda muke cikin bakin cikin nan ba yau a Zamfara za a ce an kama ɗan ta'adda ba wai ji ba gani abin nan ya faru amma kai dan son ranka ka zauna ka tsanin cewa za ka ba da shi beli da wani mace zai koma zai ci wata ta'addancin nan wataƙila kai ne next in ba da kai ba yake ɗanka yake matarka yake ɗan uwanka sauran yanzu haka za a kawo su kotu kuma muna nan mun sa ido mu ga me za ku yi a kan wannan umma da suke tadanci ma ya wanda ya kashe mutum ya yarda ya ansa cewa ya kashe yana da bindigogi yana da wani sauran akwai wanda ‘ya'yanku ne yara kanana yanzu wannan da kuka bari aka saki yana.
Let me save you the breath. Ladies and gentlemen, I was saying this to my friends on TikTok. A lot of you start there just staring at the screen and trying to see if you will see somebody that is going to interpret what that guy is saying. Abi? There is another report that explains it better, and that one is in English. But don't you think that is the problem? I am supposed to pretend that I am a Nigerian, okay? And it is okay if they are talking about terrorism in Zamfara, where tens of thousands of Nigerians have been killed. But I am a Nigerian, okay, who should just sit down and pretend that I do not understand what that governor is talking or is saying, because he's speaking his language, which is so beautiful to hear. But he's talking about terrorism in my supposed country. And I am actually supposed to understand why these guys are killing people, right? And then you will see a terrorist on camera and he'll be telling you why he is killing people. Speaking his language, of course. But I am a Nigerian, Abi. And I'm supposed to pretend that, okay, I don't know what he is saying, but I understand his problem. I understand his dilemma. How? Then, somebody who, or the group of people who claim to understand what the reason why that person is killing other people, killing non-believers, kafiris, Abi, then they want to explain it to me in English so that I can understand why that person that doesn't speak my language will kill me if he has an opportunity, because number one, I'm a kafiri, I'm an infidel, okay? But for me to be able to, and I'm supposed to live with that person in the same country, I don't know, I don't understand his language, I don't understand why he is so angry that he has to kill tens of thousands of people to prove his anger. I don't understand, except when somebody who says he understands why he is killing people is now speaking English to me, to make me understand why he is killing people and why we have to live together and understand ourselves. How do I understand people that I don't speak his language? How do I claim I'm a citizen of a country that others don't speak my language? And we all know that a lot is hidden or lost in translation. We are now living in a place, right, that we have to accept, okay, where people that are being paid hundreds of millions of naira are explaining to us the culture of why they kill and why they won't stop and all of that. And I am supposed to understand. I am supposed to understand. I am supposed to pretend that it's okay. It's okay, it's normal. Let me see what I can do to help the Fulani terrorists so that they won't kill people anymore. I am supposed to understand. I am supposed to understand. I mean, come on. Well, he's speaking his language there, and what he's practically saying was that the powerful people that are supporting, that are defending, there are powerful people that are defending or protecting the Fulani terrorists. He called them bandits. They are not bandits. They are Fulani terrorists. See. Tell your children, they are not bandits. Okay? If your children come back home and says their teacher says something about a bandit, they are not bandits. They are Fulani terrorists. The only tribe that does not have any indigenous connection to Nigeria. We're told that they are just 3.6% of the supposed Nigeria population. And they are the only tribe that has raised arms against other tribes in Nigeria in the name of this tribe, this Fulani hegemony. So that guy is talking about the special protection for these Fulanis, the murderers. He said they caught one that actually confessed that he has killed people. And they arrested some of his guys too. While he's undergoing trial, and that could have been something very great. A state is trying the Fulani terrorists for their terrorism based on the confession. I don't know what law, which law. Well, another just came from Abuja. How many of you are in doubt that the other came from Patawale? Or maybe Yari? These are two terrorists that are using the cover of Fulani, farmer herdsmen clashes to fund the terrorism that is covering for illegal mining. Baba, these guys have their own private jet. That Yari, the other day I saw him taking his mother to Mecca for this year's Hajj. And then I saw the victims of a failed country. They were all there. Very, very, God bless you, Mama. Mama, you will live long. Mama, you will eat the fruit of your this is a very great thing. I pray to Allah that I am able to do this for my mama too. I pray to Almighty God that I can send my mommy to Jerusalem too. Or I can send my papa. Oh, I wish my mama is still alive. I will do this to my mama too when I make him. That is a Yari that uploaded the video taking his mother to Saudi Arabia in his private jet. The former governor of Zamfara. He is a senator in Abuja. He would have been a Senate president if not because Kolu already drafted his list, and Akpabio top the list of the top of the rogues that could handle that for him. But that Yari is walking about today. He's flying everywhere. These guys have their private jets that they are using to smuggle these illegally mined minerals. They will fly them to Kuwait, fly them to Dubai, fly them to Iraq, fly them to Iran. Okay? Get them sold, make all the money, come back, and then supply weapons and every other thing. You see, they are so, when they tell you that, who are those giving the terrorist intel? For them to be able to ambush the Nigerian army, ambush the police, or even kidnap and kill them, it is because those who are sending the soldiers after them, they are also those who are giving the plan to the terrorists. And they are those you can see in plain sight. They are the honorable men and women that you have seated on your high tables in Nigeria. They are the ones the media are asking. See, the situation of Nigeria is very tough now. So what is your advice? What do you think the government is doing? Then Patawale will turn around and start telling you how Tinubu has improved security, how the Nigerian military have done so greatly. The Ribadu too will turn around and tell you how they have worked so greatly, so well, and in fact, the situation in Nigeria has now improved. But these are the guys behind the real terrorism. How do you deal with that? How do you even fight that without having to destroy the entire establishment that empowers them? How do you defeat this? By trying to keep Nigeria? Anyway, Ajero and his guys, you know, they are in Switzerland. They decided to go and report thiefnubu and his government to international. I don't know why I'm having this zoo of a thing. I'm going to try and fix it, by the way, right? So Ajero speaks from Ajero and Osifo. They are in Switzerland. And it's like there's nothing they can do. So it seems, like there's nothing they can do about this minimum wage. You just have to take it. But they decided to report thiefnubu to the International Labour Organization, ABICO. But listen to him. In so more like dejection, right?
Our expectation as of now is that Mr. President would do further consultation. Yeah, consultation with the organized labor, consultation with the state governors, consultation with the organized private sector, so that at the end we come up with what will satisfy all parties.
If you say there will be no strike, there will be revolution in the workplace. For as long as you continue to pay peanuts to workers will have a way of resisting you. You pay peanuts to them, you make profit from their sweat, and you say there won't be strike. In fact, it will be what we have will be worse than strike.
We have economic hazard, as the case may be. When you are not properly paid, I wonder what other hazards we are talking about.
Wage now for 5 years cannot last, and that was clear to everybody. So the mention of 5 years, that yesterday, shows that maybe, I'm not sure it has been transmitted to him, or it was not captured the way we looked at it.
We are employing, because we read the statement from the Nigerian Governors Forum, that they cannot even pay the sum of 60,000 naira as minimum wage. We see that as something that for us, they can do much more. We believe that they can do much more if they get their priorities right.
The yet-to-be-reversed electricity tariff hike remains a concern for organized labor.
This is an area that even the employers, everybody is complaining about on the way the tariff was increased. So it's like it's a time bomb waiting to happen, because you can't even pay, even the current tariff, which is 60,000.
I expect,
like, for real, with a minimum wage of 60,000, you can't pay the current electricity tariff in Nigeria. Hang on. Why am I getting this whistling? Sort of strange. Anyway, so the way they look, according to them, they believe that, you see, this hyperinflation in Nigeria ordinarily is already killing businesses. So the minimum wage that they were asking for, 250,000, they can be flexible, but 60,000 is too small, 62,000 is too small. You should do more. The bottom line is this: there's nothing anybody can do anymore. Ajero even said he didn't believe that they have forwarded it to thiefnubu yet. When thiefnubu said they've already had an agreement. But to him, they can do more, they can do better. We hope they do better. We hope they do better. And the reason why they can't call for strike right now is because if they should call for strike, they themselves would have to stay in Switzerland longer than planned. And the people who are fighting for the workers, guess what? They have the largest delegation to this event in Geneva. Nigeria is the only country with over 250 people, 256 people traveled in the name of NLC and their affiliates to Geneva for this summit or conference. But going forward, Isaleko Barack Obama has something to say about wages. You remember this guy, this flop, the former minister of darkness, potholes, and homelessness, Fashola Holmes. He has this to say about the wage and salary. And in their usual way, he's trying to make a sense. Maybe it does make sense to you. Listen.
The quick point I want to make about wages, and this might disappoint a lot of people or even cause some more discomfort, but I hope it will enrich the conversation, and I hope it will help government come to a solution that works, is that there's a distinction between salary and wages. They are not the same thing. And oftentimes we use them interchangeably. I discussed it in my book, I think from pages 88. And if you do a search, you will see a lot of literature on the distinction between wages and salaries. Salaries are paid monthly. Wages are paid for blue-collar workers who work on factory floor per hour. So what we are doing is a salary review, not a wage review. And therefore, we are going to end up getting the wrong answers. Interestingly, what our constitution provides for is a wage review. It doesn't provide for a salary review. There's another mechanism that deals with that. And I've said sometime next week when I have some time, I'm going to do a treatise on it. So the problem, therefore, is not setting the minimum salary, because that's what we are setting. In other countries, once they set minimum wage, it's lock, stock, and barrel. Everybody pays so much per hour. So what the farmer can then do is say, look, you are not going to work 8 hours anymore. I need you to work 3 hours, and I'm going to pay the minimum wage. When you finish, go. So instead of 8 hours, you get more money for working for less hours, and you can do 3-4 jobs to make up the time. Okay? But what we are doing here, we are setting a monthly minimum salary. Unlike the setting of the minimum wage, it doesn't affect salary workers in that sense. But once you raise the minimum wage, now that's where the governors are saying we're having problems. Once you raise to 30, or from 30 to 60, it means that everybody above that must go right to the top, right to permanent secretary. And that's where the problem really lies. So in our rush to put some money in the hands of the most vulnerable, which is important, let us understand that we probably have to decouple this thing in a more holistic way and set, so that the people who are running businesses who are likely to be affected.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
He is an expert. Now, so that they do. They are always experts on all subjects. Did you hear him that I'm going to try and do a thesis on this. If you read my book, page 85 to 100 or something, yeah. Go and read my book. Olori Bruku Niwon. He is now an expert, financial expert on wages and salary. How many of you remember when this Isaleko Barack Obama was talking about the reason why Nigeria doesn't have electricity was because the people in charge of Nigeria, they were Bantueyos. That electricity generation is the most easiest thing to do ever. How many of you remember that video? Oh, I didn't have that clip. I should have played it. You know? He said 1,000 megawatt electricity is just like your I better pass my neighbor. 1,000 of your I better pass my neighbor generator. Put them together. That is 1,000 megawatts. They now made the Wiri Minister of Power only for the national grid of Nigeria to be collapsing like epileptic, like Warapa, like Dakudaji. Under him alone, for the first time in 30 years, Nigeria national electricity national grid collapsed more than 116 times. It did not generate a single megawatt of electricity, added a single megawatt of electricity to the electricity generated in Nigeria. And I'm giving you this because you may be looking like, is that true? Oh, they act funny. These are the guys who are like, they always like want to appear like, yeah, you know, if you do like Iran Aluwala Ologbo. You know what's called Aluwala Ologbo? Atikeron Jenny. It's like this guy that was caught in a courtroom. Sincerely, this is so annoying that I keep hearing this sound. And I don't know why. So I'll turn this down. And then my voice may not be as loud as it should be. But let me know. If turning that down kind of affects the audio, by the way, let me know. You see, fake people preparing solutions, and then they have the chance, or they've had the chance. So that guy is considered the best governor in Lagos. But guess what? It was all noise. the real guy who really did a job that is visible, not just clearing the shanties, not just planting flowers. So, Ambody, the one that actually built real structures, other than these ones who are just promissory notes. Now they made him the minister of power in Nigeria. They even made him minister of works. They also made him a minister of housing. After 4 years, they kind of had to deploy him. Fake people, like this fake lawyer. God knows how long he's been practicing, and how many of them you have in Nigeria. So this one was caught inside courtroom, and a lawyer, they said he's a fake lawyer, which means he's not a lawyer, but he dressed as one, and he's representing a client until this happened.
My Lord, yes. No. You see, he's not the way. No lawyer can do this. If you're a lawyer, will do this. No lawyer. Officers, our officers, there is an impostor here. This man is not a lawyer. I have sought for your assistance. This man is an impostor. And remove your wig and cap. You're not a lawyer. This man is not a lawyer. And I'm hereby ordering his arrest in my court. I want you to arrest him. I want you to arrest him here and now. The man is not a lawyer. The man is an impostor. So I have told you when No. I remember you. The issues I have. When did you graduate from Officer, I hereby order you to arrest him. Get him arrested. No. What is your call to ban number? What is your name? Now give us your name.
Don't allow him.
No, sir. Young man, you have your own. He borrowed it.
Please stop this.
Officer, put on the handcuff and come in the gate. Sir, please, man, let me.
Calm down. When you get there, you will settle. Just calm down. Just calm down. Comply with them.
Allah everywhere. Officer, don't handcuff me yet. Please now. I wish they could handcuff these ones. You know, if they have their faces, I would like to see them in handcuffs.
Please come for settlement. Say now we take for the money when I come for settlement. No be policeman. You don't know the guide us. Say you come for settlement. I say you come for settlement. You don't know me.
Fire the big thing. Okay, now me. The video me.
Fire man, she's the fire.
Well, police, they asked for settlement. Police is smelling that these guys, like they are enjoying in that place, so they are smoking, they are drinking. So police now came through the window. Hey, boys, you not gonna settle us? You not settle us, we will arrest you. Say, how come you say we will consent to you? We buy something for you. Which kind of thing is this? So I would like to see those ones in handcuffs. Like if there's anybody that should be in handcuffs, okay? But how do you kind of talk about the policemen, and then you come across a video where they are teaching the Nigerian policemen the new old anthem. Sorry, the old new anthem, rather. The Nigeria's old new anthem. For those of you who might want to kind of learn one or two things, right? Let's do it here.
Standardized anthem. Standard 1. Nigeria, we hate thee, our own native land. Those tribes and tongues hate thee, in brotherhood we stand. Nigeria, our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace of our honor, and this we count as gain. To hand over our children, a banner with a stain. O God of our creation, grant this our request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with humanity, Nigeria may be blessed. I believe everybody can sing this now. If I point at one person, only one person. Look, I'm going to sing again. Point individually for you to just read it and sing. Then I'll now point at you to face the other side and sing the whole. That's why I'm saying that you should learn it now. When you learn it, okay, when you learn it, when you are asked to turn and sing whatever you, let me see what you can even sing inside. So again, Nigeria, we hate thee, our own native land. Those tribes and tongues hate thee, in brotherhood we stand. Nigeria, our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace of our honor, and this we count as gain. So hand unto our children a banner with our name. O God of our creation, grant this our request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Good. I hope all of you understand now. Yes, sir. But take note that if you are singing the national anthem as a policeman, you must salute like this. This we are doing is just because we are learning. The normal thing is that you salute and you sing. You understand now? Okay. If that is to be done, we are going to take that position of salute and we sing the national anthem. Let me stand this side so that all of you will be looking at it. We salute and we sing the national anthem. Okay, so the standardized national anthem. 1, 2, go. Nigeria, we hate thee, our own native land. Though tribes and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigeria, our proud to serve children, ever now with our sin. O God of all creation, grant this our request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Okay? So I think if I tell you people, somebody should turn now and can sing this.
Ó ti dójú ẹsẹ̀. Ó ti dójú ẹsẹ̀.
Did you learn anything from that? Because I have to put that information on the screen so that some of you will not be seated there and be like, why are you making us watch a skit? It's not a skit, oh. Those are the Nigerian police men learning the Nigeria's old, new anthem. Okay, that's that. Meanwhile, have you ever seen a Fulani? I told you that if you go on TikTok, there are Fulani jihadists on TikTok. But you know something? I found one that, just like, Nigerians, they will say there are God-fearing criminals in Nigeria too. Just say we about their criminal politicians. Some will tell you that all politicians are the same. But me, the ones me are the support, I know say they are criminals and all of that, but they are God-fearing. My own criminal is a God-fearing criminal. Oh, my own criminal is a philanthropist. Oh, my own criminal is, I don't know. So they love their criminals differently though, right? But there are others too who are like trying to say, oh, we are not all criminals. I am a Fulani, but that challenge. I am a Yoruba, but kind of. Anyway, I will introduce you to this one who has something to say. He is offering solution to the farmers' others clashes. I don't know if you need it. Let it be on record.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I go by the name Ibrahim Panyo Zam. I am a Fulani by tribe. Apart from following cows, I have no other business. And I know there's many farmers, apart from farming, they don't have any other business. But I know sometimes my cows used to enter their farm and spoil their farm. I know it is very painful as a farmer to see a cow inside your farm. You feel it is very, very painful. Because me, based on my own, if I see any person that like cut my cow or beat my cow, I feel the pain. I feel it like it is very painful in my mind. So I know that farmers, they used to feel pain if they see cows enter their farm too. But please believe me, it's not all Fulanis that is used to allow their cows to spoil the other's farm. It's not all Fulanis. I know there's a bad amount of us that used to allow their cows to spoil you guys' farm. It is very, 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 very bad. I know you guys must feel the pain. Because apart from farming, you don't have any other business like us Fulani. Apart from following cows, we don't have any business. But I have one advice to give you guys. Anytime that you catch a Fulani man spoil your farm, please, please, please don't beat him. Just arrest him. Just call him and tell him that so person, you don't spoil my farm. On the manner way. Because some of our people, you know how some people are. So you must take it easy. Because I know some farmers, the more they catch Fulani spoiling their farm, they will just carry cutlass, or they will just carry, they used to carry gun. They will say they will shoot their cows. But don't try that way. It will not work. I used to follow cow. Always. If my cow spoil the farmer's farm, I will find the owner of the farm. I will tell him that my cow don't spoil your farm. If I don't see him, I will come back tomorrow. If I come tomorrow, if I see him, I will say, so person, my cow don't spoil your farm yesterday. But please, 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 I apologize. So many farmers, they used to say, no problem, I should go. But some of them, they will say, no, I must pay. But I will pay. I will pay. Because I know it's only that farm. It's the way that they are surviving with their family. So how can I spoil the farm I run? They have family like me, so I must pay.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Ah! Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry, oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you. 70 years old man. Oh.
So would you say you just watched a God-fearing Fulani herdsman, or you just watched an entitled brat that his entitlement seems to have his own image of his, it seems to have the image of his own. He wears it with so much. No. He's giving conditions on how the farmers should react. That would not work. If we destroy your farm, some of us are very stubborn. So you have to, when they destroy your farm, you wake up, you've just borrowed 10 million naira, and then you've cultivated this land, hectares of land, and there you are, you've employed the people to help you put things up. And then you come back one morning when you are looking to harvest maybe in another 2 months. Then you come back one morning and you see the cows have destroyed the farm. So you have to be very careful because you are about to go and talk to Fulani man. Don't upset him. Don't make him angry. Don't attack him. Don't threaten him. Just find him. And sorry, Uncle Fulani, Uncle Axman. How are you, sir? Is everything okay? Are you enjoying this area? How about the cows? Are they fine? See, sir, I have a concern, sir. Sir Fulani Axman. Yesterday I came to my... Don't be upset too. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. No. So that I'm not angry. I just want you to know that our fellow citizens, I know they most probably didn't know. Maybe they didn't know it's a farm. Because I know if they knew there is a farm, they won't go there. So, Esa, anything you can do to help me, please, I borrowed money to cultivate the farm. So the Fulani would then be like, I like your approach. You are different. If it's others now, they will bring out cutlass. They will bring out gun. Or they will be threatening us. But you have home training. That's fine. I will see what I can do because that's how the whole scenario is going to play out. That's what I smelled from that video. And the reason why you watch that is just for you to imagine. If one of them feels like that, how do you think hundreds of them or thousands of them feels like? At that age, that guy couldn't be more than maybe 21, 22. But guess what? He was born after they started demonstration of craze in Nigeria. Despite 25 years of democracy, he still have that mentality. He said, me, I've got no other job. I follow cow. It's my only job, my only business. You have farm, you have no other job. So I understand. No, you don't understand. If you understand, as the 21st century Fulani, you will never follow that archaic, backward culture or tradition or idea that the rogues in Agbada in Babariga flying private jets continue to tell you is your way of life. And other people would have to pay for it. They have to pay with their land. They have to pay with their lives. They have to pay with their hard work, their crops. Are you kidding me? So if you have young people at the age of 21 to 25 with that mentality, are you still looking forward to exist in the same country with this kind of people? How do you fix this? How? What kind of policy are you going to put together to put an end to this? Who is going to implement that? And that's why a lot of us, we don't want to be treating all this headache. Break up Nigeria and save lives. It's not going to be an El Dorado. But there are some certain problems that shouldn't be problems at all, if not because the entire system has become so compromised, rigged against you. Defending it or trying to keep it active or keep it alive is to your own detriment. It's going to end badly. It's going to end badly for all of us if we do that. So, dear Fulani brother, you will need to go back to Futajalon, and you would have to keep your cows within your father's farmland. If you inherited cows from your fathers, and they didn't have any the futuristic idea of building their own ranch. Now you are wearing that garb of entitlement. We see it. We see it. We feel it. They are telling us to pretend that it is nothing. Don't you think? That's what they are saying to us. They are like trying to make us feel like, yes, this thing happens, but it's not a big deal. Listen, we can all coexist. No, we can't. Some group of people are going to be hurting. How could you say those who are hurting, those whose lives are being cut short, those whose livelihood are being destroyed, those whose ancestral lands, their indigenous lands, are being taken away from them, are being chased. They are now being chased to refugee camps. How do you think they will live with that? And then there would actually be peace, progress. Come on now. How? It is because of this entitlement. And they are pushing it. Their politicians are pushing the same entitlement in Abuja right now. Don't ban open grazing. No to ranching like that. The Fulanis cannot use ranching. It is their culture to be moving about and roaming about. Are you being serious? How come the Fulanis are not roaming to South Africa? Roaming to Kenya? Fulanis should be roaming straight to Congo. Why are they not roaming straight to Liberia? Why are they not roaming to all these areas? How come all of the other Fulanis are being told to come to Nigeria? Because Nigeria is a lawless place, a borderless country. The criminals in charge of the place would rather make money from this unfortunate thing than fix it. So that entitlement is a problem. And if entitlement is going to be, it shouldn't be for the Fulanis. All of us should be entitled. All of us. And that would have probably made us citizens, right? It would have probably made us citizens of Nigeria. But with citizenship, right? But we are not citizens. We are subjects. And I reject to be a subject. My children will reject to be subjects. In a contraption put together that is pure oligarchy, but they call it democracy. This is not normal. This is not right. It is not. If people are allowed to decide things for themselves for real, none of this is going to be allowed. None. If not for the weak man who fancies all this gold than the lives of the people that they are using as their meal tickets, though. So anyway, that one is that. Let's go back to that Zamfara. Here is a report of AIT that is not in Hausa or what have you now, okay? Listen.
Governor Lawal of Zamfara State explained that one of the suspected bandit leaders was traced to Bauchi, where he was arrested, while the other was picked up in Gusau, and they were charged to court for prosecution. But the court granted them bail based on an order from some people in Abuja who had assured them that they would be released. The governor warned the judiciary to fear God and discharge their responsibilities with the utmost integrity and honesty for the collective interest of all the law-abiding citizens. He noted that everyone is aware of the challenges Zamfara State is facing, including banditry, kidnapping, cattle rustling, and other sundry crimes. He says all hands must be on deck to tackle them.
Recognize that the good people of Zamfara State require a judicial system that protects the rights of citizenry. They expect a system of justice that gives every person fair and equal access to administration of justice and guarantees their dignity, rights, and security, regardless of gender, influence, or any other societal differences in Zamfara State. It is for this reason that this administration prioritizes on the improvement of the justice sector.
The Chief Judge of Zamfara State, Justice Kulu Aliyu, charged the newly sworn-in magistrates to live up to the expectations of their offices, as all eyes are on the judiciary.
Anyway, that's just like me letting you listen to the English version using that report on what happened in Zamfara. Away from Zamfara. And I'm going to take a stop. Let's stop by at, stop by to see Alhaji Asari in one of his latest diatribes. So he was there talking about the queries. You know, there is a conversation around the Anioma people, and I've seen a lot of people now, possibly who came across the video, the parts of the broadcast we spoke about the Anioma, proposal to start to have Anioma states. And there are people who are like saying, no, there is Anioma people are not Igbos. It is they said Anioma was created as a political right? And then there are Ika people, there are I've forgotten all the list, okay? Anyway, part of that conversation has been kind of spread everywhere too, where the queries, some are saying they are not Igbos, they are not Igbo, and others saying, no, Ikwere is Igbo. Others still are the part of the Obigbo. Some will say, no, we are not Obigbo, we are Oyigbo. So those who believe that they are Oyigbo, they say they are not Igbos. Those who are like, who believe that they are Obigbo, those ones are confidently will tell you we are Igbos. But there are some certain things that are going on, okay? And there's also, certain things going on. The first one is that after the Nigeria genocidal war, okay, of 1967 to 1970, the political class, the Fulani ruling class at the time, they came together. And in their political solution to that Nigeria, no part of Nigeria will be bold enough to break up or attempt to want to break up from Nigeria in the future. So they started with the Igbos. So they started redrawing the map through the creation of state. They started redrawing the map of the eastern part of Nigeria, okay? Because you see, the Igbos, they were major ethnic group in Nigeria as a whole, okay? And they are major ethnic group in the eastern part of Nigeria, but there are many other ethnic nationalities there. Somehow, the criminals in Nigeria, through the, through their propaganda machine after the genocidal war, so they redrew the map and they started cutting the Igbo communities, Igbo towns, Igbo cities, and all of them that they could cut off. They started cutting them off out of the heartland of the Igbo land. So they started cutting them to other border states. But at the time, some of us who followed this, we initially thought they did that to reduce them in outlook, okay? And then for the horror of the civil war, there are so many other, including this Anioma, Asaba, a few places where the Igbos were indigenous too, because of that civil war and the horror of it. Many of them had to deny their connection to the Igbo. They had to deny their Igbo link totally. Even though they couldn't drop the language, they tried to dilute it, not to sound Igbo, not to share you get. Until the 80s, 90s, when some of them are now kind of bold enough to start naming their children or start giving their children Igbo name. But they were denying that because it was so horrible, right? The war, the genocide, to the point that the atrocities of the Biafran soldiers too, who carried out attacks on some of the communities that were like border towns and all of that. They carried out attacks on them for supporting the federal troops. They said they were like informant to the federal troops. To the federal troops, to the same border town people, the federal troops also are attacking them, killing them, because they believe that they are like informants for the Biafran army. It was horrible. Those who survived those horrible period, some of them, their only solution was to deny their link to Igbo. Just in case if anything goes wrong again, they can easily say, no, we are not Igbo. No, we are not Igbo. Nothing to do with Igbo. Igbo, stay away from us. So some of you may not understand this when you see them online denying their Igbo link. But apart from the online madness, they know who they are. That's one of the damages of the Nigerian Civil War. When they said there is no winner, there is no vanquish, it was to continue the war and keep everybody divide and rule. But that's all we thought they were doing. We didn't know that some of these communities too, they were cut off from the Atlant Igbo land because of the mineral resources embedded under their lands. So they turned them to minorities in some other conjoined together tribes and ethnic nationalities called states in Nigeria. So they turned them to minorities in those places. Because if the Igbos are going to break away from Nigeria, they would have to live with nothing. There's an impression that Igbo land is landlocked. They had that campaign until now. Guess those who were promoting the campaign of Igbo land being landlocked? The people that are landlocked, like Niger, like Chad themselves, but they are the ones who are controlling the oil blocks. Many of the supposed oil explorations that should be added to the names of states like Abia, Imo, Anambra, what's the other one? I think partly Enugu. But whenever they are talking about oil exploration in Nigeria, they talk about the Niger Delta. And guess what? Before this division, the people, the leaders of the Niger Delta and the rest of them, they were all together in what was then the eastern region of Nigeria. The politics was between them. The betrayals between them, the whole thing that the politics caused between them, back then they were all together. They were fighting, just like what we had in Yoruba land. You know? But yeah, they succeeded in trying to make them believe that the reasons why the Igbos want to dominate, they actually made them believe that the Igbos want to dominate the non-Igbos in the eastern Nigeria. And with the instances of, what do you call it, disagreements among them and all of that, they were able to kind of amplify that to say, you need to be very careful of the Igbos. So they are coming for your oil. And it's just, I think it was last year, some Igbos who are on this platform, some Biafrans themselves, they were acting surprised that the largest deposit of liquid natural gas, LNG, in Nigeria today, that puts Nigeria on the top of liquid natural gas, the gas that you are using for your home cooking, the gas that they are converting into your CNG, comes from Igbo land, Imo State. That's where you have the largest deposit of LNG in Nigeria. But they made them believe that they didn't have, they were looking for Niger Delta crude oil, when they have the abundance of the same crude oil scattered across the same Igbo land. This entire southern Nigeria is like, you know, awashed with this crude oil that, you see, if you dig anywhere in southern Nigeria, you will see crude oil. The depth is just going to be different to the others. It is everywhere there. But they made an impression to say the reason why the Igbos want to take the Niger Delta with them is because of their oil. And there are actually some Igbos who believe that. No, the reason why Nigeria don't want the Niger Delta to join us is because of the crude oil. What do you want with your crude oil? What do you want? Because the impression in Nigeria is that the Igbos will suffer daily, but recently they kind of discovered that they won't. No part of southern Nigeria deserves to suffer anything. Every suffering you are facing in Nigeria today, the hardship, the poverty, is because of northern Nigeria. It has always been because of them. And it will always be because of them. And the best way to keep it going is just to keep everybody divided. So whenever Asari's medication is newly supplied, it does come around to say his mind. Ikwere na Igbo. Listen to this though. I'm not asking you to believe in whatever he says. But there are some truth that it doesn't matter who is saying it. You can't sweep them away. You can't deny your own origin. I am an Ijebu man and I'm a Yoruba man. You can be, what do you call it? You can be an Anambra man, an Igbo man. You can be, what do you call it? Sorry, I don't know all the names of all the clans and the tribes, but you do know them, Sha. But it's almost the same, but they make it look like, oh, some people feel like they are more Igbo than others. Papa, no, they feel like that. Politicians have always impressed that on everybody. Do you know, until Lawal came, other Yorubas are not considered as real Yorubas. Do you know that? How many of you actually know this? That until Awolowo, in fact, it became Awolowo's main goal to bring all Yoruba tribes, all of the Yoruba ethnic, bring all of them together under one umbrella, and everybody will say, I am a Yoruba. It doesn't matter where you come from in Yoruba land. Awolowo did that. It never used to be like that. I mean, you don't forget, say, Egba, Abeokuta got independence from the colonial masters, and they didn't get independence for Yoruba. They got it for themselves. Egba is Egba. Oyo was Oyo. Egba was Egba. Ijebu was Ijebu. It was Awolowo who came and brought in all of the tribes together. No minority, nothing. When you have a government of the people, your policy covers everybody. Awolowo's policies educated the people who are today leaders in Warri, in Delta State, where they call Delta State. Awolowo's education educated so many people who are today in the Midwestern region before they created it. These were people who are like, they were not Yorubas, but were by design, they were part, right? But the real Yorubas everywhere, Awolowo was so busy. And that is why people used to say the Oyo people are the real Yorubas. They say Oyo people are the real Yoruba. In fact, it was because of them they are calling us Yorubas. So what is wrong with you? Because in reality, right, as time changes, people kind of now know that except the political class, the elite, they keep you divided that way to rule you. If you are smart enough, right, you will discover that every Igbo is Igbo. Every connection you have to the Igbo land makes you Igbo. But politicians want you to know that no, you are not Igbo. Because you, knowing that you are Igbo, will now bring back the truth about the Igbos, the Yorubas, the Hausas, as the three major ethnic nationalities in Nigeria. That was the history before they started mixing it up with Fulani this, Fulani that. It never used to be like that. You know? So when Asari said Ikwere na Igbo, well, I think you should listen. Please.
The Jaws and the Igbos, who makes up River State, you can't take us for granted. So the River State Igbos are denying they are not Igbos, they are Igbos. Yeah. How can you go say they are Benin? Where I say they are Benin? What language are they speaking? Benin language. What name are they answering? Is it Bunwa? Is this Oba Bunwa? I don't know what Bunwa means, but I know that is Igbo. I don't know what Bunwa means. eze bụ nwa ihe nsọ wike. Is it ọba bụ nwa? The people that do not know their identity. The throne that I'm sitting now, that you are seeing, the throne is an from Obo. I cannot deny, I might not like the characters of Igbo people around, but I cannot, because of that, reject my Igbo identity. I have Igbo blood flowing in my vein. I have Igbo DNA. It's a Bunwa, it's not Obabunwa. Obabunwa. These are the characters that the president, Bola Tinubu, is about. Who are even denying where they come from. For whatever reason. Amechi is this thing. Wigwe is this thing. Which of them is answering the Benin? That above Benin. Hey, they are Benin people, everybody is Benin. What can I go be Benin?
I think if the fear that our ancestors, those of you who witnessed the Civil War, those of you who survived it, I'm talking about those of you who are matured enough and witnessed the Civil War. A lot of you have carried on with the war in your head, and you have tried so much to make us carry it along for you. And I'm talking about all of you, including the Igbo survivors. Those of you elders who survived from all the part of the old Eastern region, who raised the generations to deny their link to Igbo because of the fear of possible another war in the future, and you do not want to be killed because you are Igbo. I think it is time for so many of you to begin to deconstruct your minds, because what you have done is to help the oppressors to keep everybody in bondage and without fear, when they know there's going to be a chance for all of us, all of you, to actually decide and choose who you want to be with for real. Papa, Mama, you may be shocked that your descendants have discovered their Igbo link. They have discovered their Hausa root. That this blindness with Fulani, Hausa Fulani nonsense, your descendants have discovered that they are actually Hausas, they are Kanuris, they have their own identity. They are not going to continue this your compromised sort of a fear. It is compromised. Your fear is not based on trying to save the lives of your descendants anymore. Your fear is actually keeping your descendants in bondage. And it is the fear of, we do not want to be killed again. They are killing your descendants, not by civil war anymore, just by the state profiling. So you elderly people who survived the war, it is time for you to stop trying to project that your fear. We know you saw it. We didn't see what happened. But guess what? The internet has kind of updated all of us. We have seen the horror. And for whatever led, so for all that led to that civil war at the time, worse things are happening now than then. So I don't think everybody's going to have to wait to die without doing anything. And I'm already hearing the young Igbos saying, we are not our parents. You will not kill us like you killed our parents. That's something. So it's time for you to deconstruct. As Nigeria is today, the criminals in charge of Nigeria, they are worried that the fire is going to start somehow. They just have no idea how or when. They haven't done anything to keep all of us away from that fire. They've pushed us to that wall so much that you see those old fear, be careful stuff and all that. I don't think it's going to really work too much longer anymore. So it is time for you to deconstruct and tell yourselves the truth, denying your real roots, where your brotherhood is, where together you held Nigeria down for 30 years. Denying yourself, denying your roots and all of that now is not keeping you safe, is it? It will never keep you safe or your children safe. It will only keep them alive long enough as slaves, probably in a foreign land, because we're probably going to lose our land if this contraction continues, if this fear of don't offend the Fulanis, don't offend this, continues. If these weak men and women who are more interested in the, in the money that they are going to make from being in public office than the protection of the people that they used as their meal ticket to those offices. So it's not going to last. You need to deconstruct. You need to tell us how you survived it. You need to prepare us. You shouldn't continue to deny your identity. In denial that a lot of people are doing. Listen, I've said this many times. The Igbos, and nobody is trying to force anybody to join them about anything anymore. What we're asking for is that we force the hand of the rogues in Nigeria at some point. And when we force the hand of the rogues in Nigeria at some point, it will then lead to us having a conversation if we really want to be part of this contraption going forward or not. There are those of you who believe that in 100 years' time, nothing, Nigeria, not you break. Forget it, Baba. Or maybe because of people like you, it will break and you will still be alive. And then that shock could be one of the shock that you are going to take to your grave. I never believe it in my life. I can never, if anybody told me that Nigeria is, you might be shocked to death. I would like you to actually witness it. I want to witness it, but these guys will push all of us to that edge. They will. Listen to this.
We hit the ground running. I know where it happened. I'm for Senegal. I'm for Senegal. Immediately the president signed the letter for March. This is June. As of today, he has reduced the cost of importation in Senegal to help reduce the cost of food, bread, gari. No, this is not food now. Baba not saying who chop that life go fit vote for next election. He hit the ground running. We say some people go hit ground and we go there run. Where they worry you? You hit ground with the run, they say, I'll call the light give you. Nigeria here today, Baba, the guy reduced the cost of importation. For here they increase the importation cost every 2 hours. Once a day, but the so boy raise. They'll call explain to you. You need to be calm and endure the baby step of suffering. Money no deal, but immediately the heads of the Fed now Senate 75 billion to renovate Senate chamber. Where they go sit down, make wrong decision. Why you they sit down and make the wrong decision? Stand down, which one be? Stand, don't be wrong decision, you still make where they worry you. If you there now, they go buy yachts, buy jets. See Burkina Faso, the president also suspend all government vehicle purchase. Baba, they channel all that cost right now to agriculture. That's how they sweat now. Nigeria, anytime they discuss Nigeria matter, you are stressed already. You are stressed. I was no day Nigeria, are they America? As I don't mention Nigeria, he's Joko. He's Joko.
I just a stress person too much. GCN, thank you very much for that super chat. That's quite generous of you. Thanks a lot. Nigeria Matata person. And indeed, it can make you sweat every now and then. So yeah, Senegal, the ones that we celebrated the guy the other day. The guy has reduced the importation duty on some certain goods. Yeah, to reduce the cost of living in his country. That's something. In Nigeria, thiefnubu and the gang, indeed, they are raising it. Raise them. Between January and April, they increased the import tariff. They increased it 4 times. They are telling Nigerians that they are bringing the dollar down, right? But at the ports, a dollar is exchanged for 1,500 naira to a dollar. So if you are an importer, that's how much you are going to pay for the charges of importing anything into Nigeria. If you import a used vehicle to Nigeria, they will charge you about 40% of the value of the vehicle. You will pay it in dollars. Yeah, these criminals. Then they will turn around and tell Nigerians that the reform we are doing is everything is going to come down. They are working to go and buy food and import food to Nigeria themselves so that they can share the food and then take pictures and tell you that they've spent $2 billion importing food to feed the poor. By the port, you see those ones where you go use your money by. They are taxing them to death at the port and they are telling you everything is going to. So somebody somewhere, without having to allocate government's money, just presidential fiat, the import duty in Senegal has been reduced so as to reduce the cost of goods and services in the country. Now, in this life right now, things are so tough, right? If you can save $10, $20 from your shoppings and all that, buy something, save it and use that for something else, than for you to lose $20 for something you probably got for less the last time. So, robbery. And that's something, that's what we want to see. Policies that actually really impact people, not when you are using them to borrow money that you are going to steal and say you want to use that to feed them. They want to feed all of you. They want all of you to become so poor that they will need to feed you every 3 months. Use your name, use your frustration, your situation to collect loan, okay? And they can come and speak grammar to you and say, don't worry, we understand your frustration, okay, don't worry. We'll soon share food in your streets and hopefully you get some. That's Nigeria. And finally, I don't know if the Abia people are just so overjoyed that they have somebody that is actually doing something they can ask a question about. Alex Otti. Or all of these things happening in Nigeria is not affecting them in Abia. It's either one or two or all of the above, right? Here is Alex Otti in his convoy somewhere in Abia, driving on a newly renovated or reconstructed road. Well, maybe it is worth it. So people came out to show our governor.
Why must they be opening it? I don't understand. What's the meaning of that
I mean, it could be all of the above. So, and I've told you this, if you have not been following the story of Abia states, you will never understand how lucky they feel they are. After 24 years, this is the first time they actually have something to show for participating in this demonstration of grace led by criminals. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, the Nigerian government, they have dropped the charges against that Binance executive guy. Let me go and check his name again. His name is a little bit, like a long one. So his name is Gambarayans. He's an American. You know, remember there were two. One of them escaped, and they told us that they found him in Kenya. Well, they are working on how to return him back to Nigeria. But now that won't be necessary because the FIRS is charging them for tax evasion, that they didn't pay tax. So they asked that they be given $10 billion. That's how much they fine Binance. And that one said that you will never receive 10 billion shishi in buying, and they stuck by that. So they went to court. So today, the Nigeria government dropped the case of tax evasion. But remember, the reason why the guys got picked up was because Tinubu said they were investigating Emefiole and some people looting the Nigerian Central Bank. So, and the money they stole from the Nigerian Central Bank, they said the money was moved via Binance. Binance said, give us the names of these people you are tracking and let us look into our system and see how we can help you. You said that they stole $20 billion. Well, if they stole $20 billion, they didn't move that through our platform because the entire trade in the entire Nigeria, for the time, the time you are talking about, is far less than $100 million, not even up to $200 million, not to talk of $1 billion. Now you're talking about 20 billion. Well, we can help you find any of this money, if they move any of this money on our platform. So they sent two guys to Nigeria to go and meet with Ribadu. Ribadu saw them. He invited them to his office. He locked the door, called other guys. He said, arrest these guys and take them to my guest house. Then the next thing, he called the media. Hello, we have arrested the Binance, the people that helped the Emefiole to move $20 billion. Okay, present the evidence. They said, no, we don't have to give you evidence. We want you to give us the login back-end information, login details of all Nigerians that have used Binance in the last 5 years. How? You mean on anybody that identified themselves as Nigerians? Yes. Not just those who traded in Nigeria, which all over the world, Nigerians. If they are registered on your platform as Nigerian, we need you to give us their login. We're talking about tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. Yes. Or else you are not going back to where you come from. They locked the guys up. That was the beginning of the journey, 110 days journey for this Gambarayan. His other guy, that one escaped, ran away, and they found him in Kenya. But when the time came for them to actually press charges on these guys, the charges they brought against them was that they were operating in Nigeria without paying taxes, without having office in Nigeria. They must have office in Nigeria. Are you guys mad? Where is the 20 billion that they said they looted? They shall do the oath enough. Story shall enter story after story. The ways can't go online where the Lagos Abobakus were posting the India fined Binance 1.4 billion. United States of America fined Binance 2 billion. UK fined Binance 4 billion. Can you come find Binance for violating money laundering acts? So Nigeria must charge them. I'm from nowhere, Baba. Bam. These criminals, they were asking for 10 billion naira fine. If you want to go home, you need to pay us 10 billion. At least it's crypto now. Pay us in crypto. Pay us 10 billion naira in cryptocurrency. That's not how it works. You need to show us what we did wrong. You have to show us that. They say, okay, they couldn't find anything. They said, okay, Nigerians are operating on your platform. Have you ever paid tax to us? Why do you not have office in Nigeria? We never thought it was necessary, but if you think it is, right? So yeah, we can start conversation around that and tell us what we need to do. So today, they said, well, there's no case. The guys have agreed that they will talk to the FIRS, and FIRS have been professional. They are now working around on how to help Binance set up an office in Nigeria and tell them how much tax they should be paying. So all charges have been dropped now because this guy they are keeping is not even a decision-making executive in Binance. He can't make decision. You are holding the wrong person. So if you really want to talk, let this guy go. So today, a judge ruled that you can go. However, there are some still few gray areas to clear. And once the government says he can, then he can. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, all the noise about Binance and then how they ruined Nigeria economy, that the Agbadorians, the Agbadomites, the Batidiot, the Bat stars have been saying, you remember now, the reason why Nigeria Naira was crashing was because of Binance. They arrested the Binance representatives. Nigeria Naira enter canal further. Now, we don't know who they are blaming now. They are actually not really blaming anybody now. They just surrendered. Hands up. If Nigeria, if Naira want to enter 5,000, they go. We can no longer hold it. We've done our best. That's the kind of the situation right now. Binance is not to be blamed anymore. It must be evil spirit. There must be some evil spirit that is making it difficult for Nigeria Naira to fight back. Ladies and gentlemen, it is true. The evil spirit fighting Nigeria Naira, Nigeria economy, Nigeria security, the evil spirit fighting all of you, fighting your destiny, fighting your progress, the evil spirit that you have been told about all your life. Those evil spirits, they are actually the pictures of the criminal politicians you have in your lives. You have them as local government administrators. You have them as state administrators or national administrators. Those are the evil spirits. You are just fasting and praying to come and see Holy Spirit to conquer them. Holy Spirit, conquer the evil spirit. Baba, you did deceive yourself. Now, face-to-face spirit, which is you would have to face the evil spirit, because the evil spirits are those who are telling you to fight and kill your fellow brothers because they are fighting for you. They are not. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much this evening. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you that have been reaching out, asking about Agbeke and all that. So she's, pulling it together and coming out together. And this is also the time where I have to be multitasking, okay? I have to look after the kids, and I have to make sure that Agbeke is also fine. And I also have to kind of put together my program as well. So it's so much, but I'm fine, right? The only thing that will likely be affected is just going to be my hours here, right? But fair enough, we have them already covered for the weekend. So yeah, we will be looking after Agbeke and recovery. So I'm so sorry that has affected a lot of things so far. I hope you will understand. So thank you for spending your evening with me again tonight. I will see you tomorrow. And I'm quite going to see you tomorrow afternoon though. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Stay safe and good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará yìí.
Mayegun Diary.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún Diary Kàyídì nọ́mbà 1.
bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí.
Máyégún Diary Kàyídì nọ́mbà 1.
ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún Diary Kàyídì nọ́mbà 1.
Máyégún Diary politico.
Máyégún Diary Kàyídì nọ́mbà 1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún.
Máyégún Diary Kàyídì nọ́mbà 1.
ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Máyégún Diary Kàyídì nọ́mbà 1.
àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ dódódódó.
Máyégún Diary Kàyídì nọ́mbà 1.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
ha kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ̀lú ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.